You're sitting at a dinner table or in a professional meeting, sharing an idea when someone abruptly interrupts you. They throw a targeted, hostile comment your way, then immediately retreat behind the phrase, "I'm just joking." Suddenly, the room falls silent. You're in a social ambush. Your heart rate climbs and your mind starts racing through bad options. Do you snap back and make a scene? Or do you laugh it off and pretend you aren't hurt? We're going to build a psychological operating system that ensures you never feel that sense of weakness again, giving you the tools to neutralize toxic behavior with total composure. That moment of silence is a crossroads. It is the exact point where you either hold on to your personal power or surrender it to the person across the table. To maintain your footing, you have to recognize the strategy at play. The insult functions as a control game, a probe designed to see exactly where your boundaries sit. If you use the awkward laughter gambit, chuckling along to keep the peace, you've signaled that your boundaries are non-existent. You're trading your dignity for a few seconds of social comfort. Then there is the justification trap. The moment you nervously explain your data or intent, you validate the attack. In the social court of opinion, justifying yourself looks guilty. An angry reaction is their ultimate trophy, proving they've seized control. Because the person who provokes you essentially owns you, the only way to win is to decline the invitation to play their game. Let's go back to that moment at the table. Your first move is to suppress the instinct to fire back or get defensive. Instead, you use the cold smile, a tiny, barely visible lift of the corners of the mouth. It's the same patient, slightly dismissive expression you'd give a toddler who just showed you a scribble. You hold their gaze for one beat, letting the silence do the work. Then you pivot. You either continue your point as if they never spoke, or you turn to someone else and ask an entirely different question. This leaves the attacker holding a conversational grenade that never went off. By treating the disrespect as something too insignificant to even acknowledge, you strip away their dominance and reclaim the room. If the disrespect is persistent or crosses a clear line, ignoring it might not be enough. In those cases, you need to set a boundary. You don't do this in front of a crowd. You wait until things have calmed down, then approach the person for a private, one-on-one conversation. In a low, neutral tone, you state the fact. "I know you're joking, but I don't appreciate comments about my family. Let's keep that off the table." You aren't asking for permission or explaining your feelings. You are establishing a rule. From there, they either follow it or reveal their own toxic character to everyone around them. Sometimes, however, the environment itself is the problem, or your boundaries are being ignored repeatedly. This is where you use the strategic exit, rooted in the understanding that your presence is a privilege, not a requirement. You don't need to storm out or make a scene. You simply finish your drink, politely excuse yourself, and walk away. Choosing to leave a situation that is unworthy of your time is a demonstration of self-respect that requires no confrontation at all. These tactics are powerful shields, but the final step is achieving total internal immunity through a shift in perspective. If you observe an attacker closely, their words begin to sound like a broadcast of their own inner state. The specific things they mock are almost always a roadmap of their own deepest insecurities. Think of the jaundice analogy. If someone with jaundice tells you that you look yellow, you don't get offended. You recognize that they are seeing the world through the filter of their own illness. Toxic behavior works the same way. When someone tries to put you down, they are projecting their own internal distortion onto you. Their words aren't a description of your character, they're a confession of theirs. Once you internalize this, the insult loses its edge. It stops being a weapon and becomes a high-definition look at the other person's flaws. When you reach this level, you can smile internally when a jab comes your way. You know you aren't actually the target. Instead of feeling attacked, you're simply watching someone else struggle against their own inner demons. Unshakable peace comes from the realization that there was never a fight to begin with, only one person desperately trying to start one. Winning means reaching a point where that person and their opinions simply lose their gravity and become irrelevant to your life. How have you handled jokers who cross the line? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to keep upgrading your social operating system.